As fires rage across Southern California, the media is not really reporting on another set of fires, battery storage fires. Coming up, we'll tell you what the radical left-wing environmentalists have done now to not only hurt the environment, but put our lives in jeopardy. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California. And look, I'm an environmentalist. You are too. Everyone is. Except if you're a liberal media outlet and a left-wing politician. You just use the environment as a political issue, a wedge issue, to scare people into thinking the world's going to, end in 12 years. And that the only way for us to save ourselves is to increase our cost of living and destroy our jobs and reduce convenience and give our choices up to government. So they get to choose what form of energy we get to use to power our daily lives. And, of course, they get to stick us with the bill. That is the story of the Green New Deal, or what I call the greedy New Steel. And we've covered the greedy New Steel on this show multiple times and how it is a complete failure, how it doesn't make sense for the environment, limits our quality of life and our consumer choice, our conveniences, and most importantly, increases our cost of living while destroying jobs, makes us poorer. And you know who gets hurt the worst? Disproportionately, low-income and working families are hurt the worst by the cost imposed by the Green New Deal, the greedy New Steel. In California, the liberal politicians, as part of their greedy New Steel, have said that we've got to get away from any form of carbon-based fuel. They want to ban all natural gas appliances and shut down all natural gas power plants. And natural gas power plants are providing a lot of energy to California, a big, sizable chunk. And it's reliable. You can burn a natural gas power plant in the middle of the night when the sun's not out. Only solar can work during the day, wind whenever it blows. And so in response to that very common sense criticism and fundamental obstacle to going all renewable all the time, which is, again, it's impossible. The left wing have said what we need to do is put batteries everywhere and force you to pay for it. And these batteries are designed to store energy during the day that we produce with the sun and the wind. Again, not enough sun and wind to actually meet our needs. But in theory, they say when the lights are out and the wind doesn't blow, the batteries will then kick in and power us during the night. Okay, so that's their theory. It's exponentially more expensive. It is significantly less reliable. And when you take a look at the projections for what these renewables can actually produce, we are nowhere near being able to meet our needs given increasing demand on our energy grid as you get rid of gas-powered cars, gas-powered appliances. So that is kind of like a primer into what I'm about to talk about. Because not only is their plan not workable, but their plan actually puts our lives at risk and is bad for the environment. And the media doesn't want to cover this. It's the dirty little secret. It's just like the media doesn't want to cover the actual mining environmental impacts of building these batteries. Strip mining. Yep. Foreign countries putting kids into, labor conditions that are abhorrent to strip mine, cobalt mines, and all other sort of metals and other materials to build these batteries. And the analysis shows that, electric cars actually have a bigger environmental footprint impact than gas-powered cars. But again, let's talk about these battery storage units because they want to put these battery storage units everywhere. And no one knows that these units are going in. When it's docketed on a local city council or county planning board, it's very hard to figure out that this massive battery storage facility will be sited in the middle of your community. In the last 90 days, we've had 3 catastrophic fires just in San Diego County. 3 fires impacting my assembly district, the 75th in San Diego County. And these fires have burned for days. And as the fires burn, because batteries don't just shut off, they just keep burning and burning and burning. All this particulate matter gets released into the atmosphere. CO2, carbon, and people have all sorts of impacts to their respiratory health and air quality. In addition, it is putting a risk to communities. A lot of these battery storage facilities, by the way, are not in industrial areas. They're also out in the wildland-urban interface. So a battery storage facility in a rural area with a lot of brush around it could actually set off a catastrophic fire and continue to burn that fire because the batteries don't go out. Here is a report from NBC San Diego about the battery fire that we had in Escondido this past week that shut down the Reform California campaign office. We were told to shelter in place. There were evacuations for 48 hours. Here is NBC 739 and their report.
County leaders considering a moratorium on battery storage facilities after fires have broken out at facilities across the county. The most recent one happened Thursday in Escondido, forcing hundreds of residents and even some businesses to evacuate. NBC 7's Jeanette Quesada explains the concerns fueling that possibility of a moratorium.
There you go. What a good girl. What a good dog.
Nancy Jennings lives in Escondido, just a few miles from the SDG&E lithium-ion battery facility that caught fire.
By the way, that fire there, minuscule compared to one that was in Otay in South San Diego just a few weeks ago, and it was massive. The whole dang thing caught on fire.
She was forced out of her home Thursday due to a power outage. She says an SDG&E representative told her extreme heat caused the power to go out.
When I had called SDG and spoke to their representative, she had checked with her people there, and what they told her was that the fire had damaged SDGE's equipment, and that was why the outage and why it took so long to repair, because it was over 12 hours.
SDG&E has not confirmed a connection between the fire and the power outage at Nancy's home, but Nancy says she can't live without it.
Appliances, who cares? I can do without. I can't do without my oxygen.
Nancy says even before the fire broke out at the SDG&E facility, she and many of her neighbors have opposed these battery facilities in their community.
It's just too dangerous.
A sentiment also expressed by County Supervisor Jim Desmond.
We're getting way too many fires from these types of battery storage facilities, and we need to get some, unfortunately, some more regulations in place to make sure they're safe.
On Wednesday, the County Board of Supervisors is going to consider guidelines and a potential moratorium on the battery energy storage facilities. Supervisor Desmond says the moratorium would only apply to battery systems that need county permits. He says of the nearly 50 battery storage facilities across San Diego County, about 80% don't require county permitting because they can get approval through the California Public Utilities Commission.
I don't think a moratorium.
Oh, that's right. And who is on the California Public Utilities Commission? 5 unelected Green New Deal wingnuts who have no experience in utility management. They're environmental radicals. They know nothing about public safety. They also know nothing about the environment because, again, their policies hurt the environment consistently. But why is it? I mean, I give at least credit for liberal NBC San Diego to cover the county proposing a moratorium. But they're not talking about this as a concern for the entire Green New Deal, Green New Steel movement, let alone they don't talk about the cost of living that is increased because of these radical ideas, these crazy ideas, these ideas that are not market tested or environmentally effective. This is why Californians can't have good things. This is why our cost of living is the highest in the nation. A lot of mandates and regulations are impacting working families and businesses, particularly small businesses, but one of the biggest set of impacts come from the crazy environmental rules that we have out here. Again, I'm telling you, I'm a absolute staunch environmentalist. I want clean air, clean water. But I believe there's a better way. And we've laid out ideas for better air quality, better water quality, without busting the budgets of working families and significantly increasing the costs of small businesses such that they can't survive. But again, anytime we look at these Green New Deal ideas, the media says, oh, it's all net positive, it's all great. No, it's not. Do a full pro and con assessment of the proposal, because there's a lot more con, and that's putting it lightly, in the Green New Deal, Greedy New Steel. Look, in California, we are trying to elect people like Jim Desmond to the County Board of Supervisors. Reform California proudly endorsed him in the last election and put a considerable amount of effort into making sure our voter guide helped lift him across the finish line. But candidates like him at the local level and the state level who understand these problems are willing to push back against this just rubber stamp approach to the Green New Deal, Greedy New Steel. The only way we can do that is with your help. So please go onto the website first and foremost and get our voter guide. Go to reformcalifornia.org, click under voter help, voter guides, and you'll see we have posted our plain English Reform California voter guide with all the descriptions in easy to understand format of the ballot measures. We expose all 470 massive tax increases on the ballot statewide. There's a lot in your neighborhood, so you better check out the voter guide. Plus, we do make endorsements for candidates who, again, are going to push back against these radical Green New Deal, Greedy New Steel mandates that aren't good for the environment, increase our cost of living, and taking a look at all these fires, hurt the environment, and put our lives at risk. Until next time, Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and smash that notification button so you can stay up to date on all the developments in California news and politics. Also, please visit the website, reformcalifornia.org, for ongoing news coverage and to join one of our campaigns in the fight to take back our state. If you can, please sign up as a volunteer or chip in a contribution. This episode of Reform California with Carl DeMaio, paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly 2024.